After selecting your Analyzing Receivables using Excel assignment in McGraw-Hill's Connect, you should have access to this assignment if your instructor assigned it. You should be able to go through and complete the simulated Excel assignment. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the link that says ebook if I forgot how to do the aging of accounts receivables, and if your instructor selected it, there is a hint at the bottom of the spreadsheet. So go ahead and click in the box that you might need help with. So the first yellow box is going to require a formula. Make sure you read the directions. Calculate the number of days using the Excel days function, and that, if you're not familiar with, click on the hint and it'll take you through the process. And the number of days between the two dates. The Excel days function arguments are days and date start date. Okay, so we'll have our days and our end date and our start date. So what I'm going to do is in this field, I'm going to first call up the function by pressing the equal sign. And then my end date will be today's date because that's the latter date. So I'll make sure I call up the function days. You can do all caps or lowercase, whatever you prefer. From my understanding, it's not case sensitive. Open parentheses, and so my end date is today's date, which is in the spreadsheet, do comma, and then my invoice date is going to be my start date. And so that will be my date range. I'll do close parentheses, and you'll notice that as I was doing this, it calls up and gives you a little guidance in that process. And this will work in regular Excel as well, in Excel 365. So close parentheses, and then I'm going to press the Enter key. And while I'm doing that, you'll also notice up here, it's telling me in the content box exactly how the formula looks. And I press Enter. It says correct, and it calculates the number of days. Now the cool thing is you don't have to do that for all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look for the black plus at the bottom of the first cell that I've entered the formula. I'm going to hold down with my mouse and drag it down to row 14, and that's going to copy the formulas for me automatically. So if I go and click on the second one, you see that it automatically adjusted the row number to correspond with that for Health for Life. And that's it. And that's why we use Excel, because it saves us time. Put the function in there one time and you should be able to answer the items. So the next one says for number 2, you're going to have to actually organize your data based on the categories of how old it is. So these are the categories provided on this particular problem, and it has a number of days. So if Fitness Mania happens to be 0 to 30 days, then it wants it to put the amount or the balance from the account from above. So again, fitness is on row 8, and we are going to analyze the data. Again, data analytics, and we're going to go ahead and click on the first box, and we're going to press an equal, right? And we're going to use this functions for the if-then function. And if you forgot or you're not clear, go ahead and take advantage of the hint. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to do equals, and we're going to do if, and you're going to open up parentheses, and then it gives you that hint. So the logical test is you want to compare the days against this, so it should be ranging from 0 to 30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if, and then I'm going to go up to, let's see, you can't see it on my view, but I'm going to go if this content, which is E8, is less than or equal to, because I want to include 30 in this logical test. So less than or equal to 30, I'm going to do the true value, so comma. So if that is true, then I want the content of the B as in boy 8, which is the value of Fitness Mania, to appear in the cell. But if it's not 0 to 30, then I want it to indicate a 0, nothing, because it's not in this date range for this stratification of the information. So close parentheses, and then I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and press enter, and it says correct. And then I'm going to go to my next field, which is 31 to 60 days, and now there's two conditions here. So I'm going to go ahead and go equals, and we're going to call up that if function. And then doesn't matter if it's lowercase or uppercase, however you want to program it. And then we're going to open parentheses. And when I do this, I'm going to make sure I put and, because I'm going to have two conditions here. Okay. Now the first condition, so open parentheses, will be if it's greater than 30. So if E8 is greater than 30, and the second item, it also has to be E8, let's see, less than, less than, and I'm going to try 61 this time because that'll include the 60 that I wanted to include. So less than 60. And then I'm going to do my close parentheses because I have those two conditions for my and then I'm going to do a comma. So this is my logical test. It has to be both greater than 30 and less than 61. So if this is true, then I want it to equal the amount of the invoice. And if it's not true, I want it to be 0. And I'm going to do close parentheses, and then I'm going to press enter. Let's try this again. We're going to do equals if, and then we're going to do open parentheses, and the first logic test, E8 greater than 60, and E8 less than 91. Oops, how? And be careful not to do equal so quickly. My fingers get ahead of me. If, open parentheses, and open parentheses, first logic test, E8 greater than 60, and so comma, another second logic test, E8 greater than, less than 91, close parentheses, comma. Now if both of these are true, I want the contents of B8, so comma, and if it's not true, I want 0, and then I'm going to do close parentheses. So if, open parentheses, and open parentheses, E8 greater than 60, comma, E8 less than 91, close parentheses, comma, B8, comma, 0, close parentheses, and then press enter. And then finally, over 90 will be equals if, and this will be a little bit easier because there's only one condition, if E8 is greater than, and I'm going to put in 90 because we don't want to include 90, so it doesn't have to be greater than or equal than, so just greater than 90, comma, then I want the contents of B8, and then if not, if it's false, I just wanted to put 0, and so this one's a lot easier. Press enter, and then to get my total, I'll do equal sum, open parentheses, and I'll do the whole range of these 4 numbers. Press enter. And the cool thing again is this: you're going to grab hold of the black plus and go down, and you should be able to fill those amounts in. And I'm not going to do the rest because I know you got this. You can just do a subtotal for the total accounts receivables, and then multiply the 2% times the subtotal, and do the same for the other categories. Get your total, and then you should be able to use the rest of this in your textbook to figure out the amounts of the actual adjusting entries under the 2 scenarios where there are different balances for the allowance for doubtful accounts. So that's it for this video. Remember, today is a great day to learn accounting.